Okay, good afternoon, Jen. We are now covering your Theory 2, and so it's review week this week, so make sure that you get your homework sheets from Blackboard, that you print them up. And so day 1 deals with lesson 33 as a review, so I'll cover it real quickly. Lesson 33 deals with words starting at the beginning of a stroke when combinations sound like the consonant. The combinations are spelled I-A, I-E, and I-O. So it's the Y. So media is stroked, media, okay? Y will act as an I. So if that helps you to remember it. Aviation, aviation, okay? The Y is in there because over here you have, it's an I in the English spelling. You have zodiac, zodiac. And then you have alias, alias, and I'm just going down your lists on page 225 in your book, okay? I'm just randomly picking words. Audience is audience, so the Y acts like an I. You have recipient, recipient. You have funnier, funnier. You have serious is a stroke. One stroke, it's a brief, S long E-R-S for serious. Period is also a brief, peered. P long E-R-D, okay? You have lion is lion, so Y-O-N for the I-O-N. You have to repeat it. Ulterior is ulterior, 3 strokes. Sorry, ulterior. And then you have premium, premium. Failure, failure. Figure, figure, okay? So make sure that you know those. And then in the medial Y, the sound of the U may be written with either a long or short U. Okay, so you have emulate, emulate. Or you can write emulate, however you want. Annual is annual or an-Y-U-L. Okay, either way. And then the medial Y plus the U may be omitted if the syllable is not accented. So this is real important. A lot of these words come out. So you have fabulous is fabulous. Tabulate, tablate. You have singular, singular. Ridiculous is ridiculous. 3 strokes. Stimulant, stimulant. Stipulate, stipulate. Okay. Going on to page 226. You have other words with the U sound may be written with their natural letter or with the Y. Do what comes naturally. So you all just pick whatever comes naturally to you. So you have, do you hear amputate or amputate, however you hear it, okay? Do you hear formula, formula, or formula? So the first one was formula, okay? Whichever you hear, you all, it's totally your choice. Anytime you have an or in your book, you can write either way, whichever you hear. And then it says use RL and RN for words which are the RYAL and RYAN sounds. Generally, these words end in aerial, oriel, Aryan, Orion. So secretarial is written sectarial. Okay, 2 strokes. Editorial, editorial. You've got tutorial, 2, and then the torial. You have librarian, lie, and then brarian, 2 strokes. You have valedictorian, valedictorian, 3 strokes, okay? And then it says use KH. This is kind of good to know. This one is under C, just because a lot of these words come out. So it says use KH at the beginning of a stroke when vowel combinations sound like KH. These combinations are often spelled TU. So virtue is virtue, okay? So make sure that you know for the TU, it's KH at the end. Actual is actual. Remember, actual is a brief. It's TWAUL. Actually, long A. Okay? So make sure you know those. They come out a lot. You have fortune is fortune. Oops, fortune. And then you have, that came out right. Then you have lecture, lecture, and it sounds like it. Mature, mature. Nature is nate, 1 stroke. You have feature is feach, 1 stroke. Future is fuge, F long UFP, fuge. Okay, just so you know those briefs. And then it says D, use SH at the beginning of a stroke when the SH sound is heard. So you have geisha or geisha, 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 same word, just depending on how you pronounce it. You have cliche, cliche, flashy is flash-she, and then you have conscience, conscience, okay? You have measure, MRB is a brief, pleasure, PLRB is a brief, and then issue, ish, shoe. So make sure you know how to stroke those, okay? And then going on, you have a word exercise on 227, and then you have some briefs, you all, comfort, KFRT, comfort, and then you have industry. That's real important to know is STRI for industry. That comes out a lot. And then you have human is hume. Various is VARS. Make sure you know that. And then rocket, ROKT, one stroke, visual, VIRBL. And then the others are stroked out. There's a word voyage. I wanted to give you that. VOIJ, voyage for voyage, okay? It does come out on one of the paragraphs, so just wanted you to have that. So what I'm going to start with is just dictating from your homework sheet, just to give you all some practice with the words, not at any particular speed. And ask me, Jen, if you don't know how to stroke them, okay? And here we go. So just from your homework sheet. Luxurious, issuance, expenditures, signature is a brief, SIGT, signature, cashier, janitorial, superiority, pressure, ambiguous, the brief is G long US for ambiguous, speculation, underestimate, undereducated, undeserved, unnumbered, unscientific, undergoing, understandably, unreasonable, uniformity, unpleasant, religion. Do you know the brief for religion, Jen?
Oh, I thought it was, no, I don't remember.
Okay, it's LIJ. And so religion is lig, religious, add the S. Okay? You've got value, pleasure, statutes, evidentiary, larceny, occupied, factual, civilian, failure, conspicuous, earliest, radiology, cardiography, bacteriology, insidious, fracture, fibula, moisture, intellectual. Any questions on any of those words, Jen? Nope. Okay, and so these will be for readback, Jen. And so they'll just be random words, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. These are for readback. Issuance, signature, janitorial, pressure, ambiguous, unnumbered, unscientific, uniformity, religion, pleasure, statutes, evidentiary, occupied, civilian, conspicuous, cardiography, insidious, fibula, intellectual.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. We have issuance, signature, janitorial, pressure, ambiguous, I have NURPL. Oh, unnumbered.
Perfect.
Unscientific, uniformity. I think I missed a few in here. I have ridge.
Okay,
Oh,
Lidge.
religion. I think it's pleasure. State.
Stat.
Stat. I have KH long URS.
Long UT.
Statute.
Statutes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Occupied.
Evidentiary. Occupied.
Civilian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Okay, conspicuous.
Okay. Then I have insidious.
Okay, cardiography. Insidious.
Fibula.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual.
Good. Okay, and so evidentiary is just EVT and then Sherry. Okay, because you have to write evident first. Remember, EVT is evident. Evidence, EVD. Okay, and then Sherry is just share. You have to just know it's the Sherry end. Okay? And then here are some sentences from your homework sheets. Okay? Not at any speed, just for practice. Here we go. The students were issued pencils, paper, crayons, and tissues. She was the child's legal guardian and lawful custodian of the property. Scallions are green onions. The former champion had faded into oblivion. Do you have the manual for this perpetual motion machine? She was understandably furious upon uncovering the insidious scheme of her former friend to undercut her bid. Actually, they have a number of mutual intellectual interests. What's on the menu? The media had set certain criteria for the invasion of privacy. They were trying to find a little time in their individual schedules for some pleasurable activity. Anything there, Jen?
No.
No? Okay. And so what I'll do now is I'll cover some sentences from lesson 33. And so let me give you some words that come out. You have it's a little tough, okay? Just so you know. Nature, human, animal. This is 70, 80, 90. Secular, music, interests, etc. Spiritual, religious, vernacular, vocabulary, usage, language. You have peculiar, subservient, individual, recipient, amiable, judges, leniency. Do you have perpetual? So some of these are the sentences from your homework, but they're at a speed, okay? Therapy. So remember therapy. Do you know how to write that, Jen?
It's there.
Therapy. And so it's a little tough. So this is going to be, any questions, Jen, on any of those words that I gave you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. This is going to be 70 words a minute. Just know it's a little tough, okay? Let's try it and see how it goes. 70 words a minute. The unique nature of every human and animal is the marvel of the universe. Secular music, schools, interests, etc., are those which are not religious or spiritual. The vernacular of a people is the native vocabulary peculiar to them and usually refers to the common usage of the language. The subservient individual was the recipient of the amiable judge's leniency. Do you have the manual for this perpetual motion machine? She told her husband she'd signed him up for a course in remedial therapy. Dizzy from stimulating the proletarian populace to delirium with his lecture, the dictatorial figure stumbled off the podium in the stadium. At the ceremonial dinner, the brilliant comedian painted a poignant picture of his earlier misfortune in life. She lost her composure with the disclosure that the split in her skirt left his earlier misfortune and left her underwear in full exposure. The nursing home was filled with many people. The substantiation of the prosecution's evidentiary material will undoubtedly send the defendant back to the penitentiary. At issue was a $100,000 in insurance money, which was in absentia. The conceptual art show included actual people doing ritual dances, spiritual pictorials, and virtual reality. He's an articulate and gregarious speaker who contributes spontaneous enthusiasm to his various topics. Any questions on anything there, Jen?
No.
No? Okay, and so let me just give you a couple of words that I saw. Reality is a brief, it's R-A-E-L-T, reality. So you like that, you don't want to stroke it out. You have contribute, K-R-I-B-T, contribute. You have, do you have, D long U-F, or do you have? And then you have husband, H-U-Z, common, K-M-O-N, music, 2 strokes, okay? And human is hume. This will be at 80. Was that hard at 70?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just go up to 80, okay?
Okay.
This is 80. The unique nature of every human and animal is the marvel of the universe. Secular music, schools, interests, etc., are those which are not religious or spiritual. The vernacular of a people is the native vocabulary peculiar to them and usually refers to the common usage of the language. The subservient individual was the recipient of the amiable judge's leniency. Do you have the manual for this perpetual motion machine? She told her husband she'd signed him up for a course in remedial therapy. Dizzy from stimulating the proletarian populace to delirium with his lecture, the dictatorial figure stumbled off the podium in the stadium. At the ceremonial dinner, the brilliant comedian painted a poignant picture of his earlier misfortune in life. She lost her composure with the disclosure that the split in her skirt left her underwear in full disclosure. The nursing home was filled with many people. The substantiation of the prosecution's evidentiary material will undoubtedly send the defendant back to the penitentiary. At issue was $100,000 in insurance money, which was in absentia. The conceptual art show included actual people doing ritual dances, spiritual pictorials, and virtual reality. He's an articulate and gregarious speaker who contributes spontaneous enthusiasm to his various topics. And so let me just give you substantiate. I think it's that's substantial. Substantiate is S-T-A-N-T, okay? Substantiate, and then you have prosecutions, P-R-G-S, and then apostrophe S. You have, any questions, Jen?
Nope.
Okay, and then penitentiary, pen-ten-shuri. Okay? Good, and I'm not going to make you read that back. That's tough. So what I'll do now is I'll start with some jury charge phrases. So if you want to go to your phrases in jury charge, it starts with all right. It's about the fourth page in, fourth or fifth, okay? And it starts with all right. So it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all right is written L final RT. So if sometimes you can write all right, sir, LRTS. Okay, sometimes they'll say all right, sir. So remember, all right is LRT, all right, sir is LRTS. So you have court reporter, K-R-O-E-R-T. Think of it as K for court, reporter, O-R-O-E-R-T. Let me see if that does come out. No, it doesn't come out, but just if you want to remember it like that, because report is Rort. Okay, so reporter, Rort. No, it doesn't come out. But court reporter, K-R long O-R-T. You have court record is Crord, K-R-O-R-D for court record, Crord. Think of the K for court and then records already in there. You have for instance, FRINS, F-R-I-N-S, for instance. And then you have question of law is Q-E-F-L, just question of law. But if it's questions of law, add the S to make the questions plural. Point of law is P-O-I-F-L. Point of view, P-O-I-F. You want to know these come out a lot. Point of view, think of the point and then view is for the F. State of mind is 2 options. I just like the first one. State, S-T elongate, and then M-D. Think of this as the state and then of mind, M-D. You've got plea of not guilty. This might be a hard stroke for you, but if you do your finger exercises, they get a little easier. P-L-O-F-N-G-T for plea of not guilty. Okay. You have, that might be a stroke, a hard stroke. You have plea bargain is plarg. Think of the P for plea and then bargain, larg. Or you can think of the plea as PL and then argan for bargain. You have marked for identification. I would just, I don't know, whichever you like. MOID, M-O-I-D, marked for identification. I'm trying to pick the easiest stroke. Maffert for malice aforethought, M-A-F-R-T for malice aforethought. Think of the M for malice, the M, and then aforethought, A-F-R-T. You've got keep in mind, K long E, M-D. Think of the keep is already in there, keep, and then M-D for the mind. You've got speculation is 2 strokes, speculation, okay? You've got specifics. Specific is S-P-E-F-K, come back S. You have attention, long A, tension. You have otherwise. Other is O-E-R, but the Z for the wise, the ending of wise. So it's O-E-R-Z. You have statement, S-T long A, M-T. And then you have from time to time again, frimt. Or no, that was another one. For instance, sorry, frimt is from time to time. And then these are good to know. Direct examination, DRX. If I hit it twice, I think it's going to center it and title it for me. Okay, so you know, just one time for direct examination. So anytime you hit those titles twice, it'll center it and capitalize it. You've got cross-examination, KRX for cross-examination, okay, but just one time. So cross-examine is KR longo X, just so you know how to write that one. Cross-examine, KR longo X. Okay, going on to the next page. Do you know is D long U N with an asterisk? D long U S with an asterisk? You've got during the, D-U-R-G is during, put the T for the. Day or night, this comes out a lot, D-A-O-R-N-T, day or night. Think of the day, D-A, or is in there, or, and then N-T for night. Matter of fact, M-A-F-T, matter of fact, M-A-F-T. You have any fact. Oh, as a matter of fact, SMAFT. So the as is the beginning of that phrase, so it's S-M-A-F-T. Any fact is N-I-F-T. Any fact, N-I-F-T. In fact, this one you want to know is N-F-T. Is that a fact? S-T-H-A-F-T. And you want to know that because is that a fact? That comes out a lot. You've got proximate cause, P-R-A-U-Z, P-R-A-U-Z. Think of the proximate is P-R, cause, A-U-Z. Contributory negligence is K-R-I-J. Contributory negligence, K-R-I-J. So think of contribute. Tory is K-R-I and the negligence, J. In reference, N-R-E-F-R-N-S for in reference, okay? That comes out a lot. In regard is NARD, N-R-A-R-D. I think this one's wrong. Vague and ambiguous is VABES, not VAM. VAM doesn't come out. It's V long A B-S. I don't know if you have that, Jen, because vague and ambiguous is VABES.
Oh, okay. I just entered it.
Change it. And then you've got thank you, T-H-A-U-N-G with an asterisk. On the other hand, O-E-R-N-D. On the other hand, O-E-R-N-D. From the is F-R-T. Before the is final, is B final F-R-T. Your honor is Y-O-U-R-N. Okay, think of the your is already in there, N for honor because it has an N in there. Let me give you another one. You have his honor is H-I-R-N, I think. Yes. His honor, H-I-R-N. Voir dire is V-R final D. V final R-D. You have bear in mind. So you actually have bear in there, B-A-E-R-M-D. Bear in mind. And then opinion's wrong because that's P-N. So you have P-P in your sheet. I don't know if you do, Jen, but it's P-N. Federal is FRAL, F-R-A-L. And then you have marijuana, Marin. Heroin, Heron. Cocaine, we made this one up, Quake, because the students wanted one stroke. You could write cocaine, but Quake is what we came up with, if you like it. Paraphernalia is Perrin. Control substance, I think it's controlled. Yeah. So make sure that you know that because it's K-R-O-L-S asterisk, but it's controlled substance. It's going to give you the L-L-E-D. You never, it's usually controlled substance, okay? And then distribute, D-R-I-B-T. D-R-I-B-T for distribute. Any questions, Jen, on anything there?
No.
Okay, and I'll just dictate them to you, and then we'll do some jury charge practice, okay? All right. All right, sir. Court reporter. Court record. For the record. For instance. Question of law. Questions of law. Point of law. Point of view. State of mind. Plea of not guilty. Plea bargain. Marked for identification. Malice aforethought. Keep in mind. Speculation. Specifics. Attention. Otherwise. Statement. From time to time. Direct examination. Cross-examination. Do you know? During the day or night. Matter of fact. As a matter of fact. Any fact. In fact. Is that a fact? Proximate cause. Contributory negligence. In reference. In regard. Vague and ambiguous. Thank you. On the other hand. From the. Before the. Your honor. His honor. For dear. Bear in mind. Opinion. Federal. Marijuana. Heroin. Cocaine. Paraphernalia. Controlled substance. Distribute. Okay. Any questions, Jen, on anything there?
Nope.
Okay. And so what I'll do now is I'll give you some words that come out on your speed building for jury charge. It's going to be 70, 80, 90. So you have members of the jury, which is MEJ. You have, do you know how to write direct evidence, Jen?
Yeah, it's D-R-E-F-D.
D-R-E-F-D or VD, you can, whichever you pick. And then circumstantial evidence is S-K-E-V-D or F. They both come out. They both come out on here, okay? You have example. Example is KP, no. There it is. KPAFRPL. You can write it in one stroke. You have injured. J long U R, come back D. J-U-R, come back. Injure, how do you write injure? Come back to you.
J-I-R?
J-I, I can never remember. Thank you. J-I-R, come back D. Injured. Thank you. And this is going to be at 70 words a minute, okay? And it's a jury charge speed building. Members of the jury, there is a difference between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Now, the law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence as to the degree of proof required. Each is accepted as a reasonable method of proof, and each is respected. Now, you may wonder then what the difference is. Let me give you an example. If you heard a shot and you saw a man running out of a house with a gun smoking, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that he was the one who shot the person you found lying on the floor in the home. Because you heard the shot, you inferred certain things. Now, if you saw him fire the shot and you saw the injured party or the person who was shot fall to the ground, that would be direct evidence. The indictment which has been read to you is the formal written accusation made by the state against the defendant, setting out in 3 different counts the crime of which he is charged. Now, the statements of the alleged crime in each of these 3 counts differs in some respects from each other, and you are not to suppose that these differing statements are intended to proscribe, nor that the prisoner is required. Any questions, Jen, on anything there?
Nope.
No? Okay, and so let me just write prisoner is P-R-I-R-Z, prisoner, 1 stroke. You have accusation is accusation. Oops, no. Okay, accusation. There you go, accusation, okay? Sorry, this keeps popping up on the screen. And then you have proscribe is pro and then scribe. Okay, that's the proscribe you want. Suppose is spose. Respects, can I write RPTS in 1 stroke? Yes, because there's no vowel in that brief usually. And then you have distinction, D-I-S, tinction. Okay, you have, I think that's the indictment is dint. Okay, and this will be at 80 words a minute. Oh, degree, D-R-G, yes, initial D, final R-G for degree, if you like it. And here we go, 80 words a minute. Members of the jury, there is a difference between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Now, The law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence as to the degree of proof required. Each is accepted as a reasonable method of proof, and each is respected. Now, you may wonder then what the difference is. Let me give you an example. If you heard a shot and you saw a man running out of a house with a gun smoking, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that he was the one who shot the person you found lying on the floor in the home. Because you heard the shot, you inferred certain things. Now, if you saw him fire the shot and you saw the injured party or the person who was shot fall to the ground, that would be direct evidence. The indictment which has been read to you is the formal written accusation made by the state against the defendant, setting out in 3 different counts the crime of which he is charged. Now, the statements of the alleged crime in each of these 3 counts differs in some respects from each other. And you are not to suppose that these differing statements are intended to proscribe, nor that the prisoner is required to answer for more than one crime, namely the crime of murder. Let me define the term murder for you. Murder is the unlawful. Anything there, Jen?
No.
No? And so unlawful is just UN and then lawful. LAUFL, okay, for unlawful. And then you have differs, DIFR, come back S. You have defendant, DFT. You have different, DIFRNT. Defendant is just one time. You have inferred, INFER, come back D. You have accepted, SEPT. Nope, SEP, come back, sorry. SEP, come back D. You have written, WRIN. And then this is at require is RIR, R long I R. More than, MRN. That really comes out a lot, so make sure you use it. This will be at 90 words a minute. Members of the jury. There is a difference between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Now, the law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence as to the degree of proof required. Each is accepted as a reasonable method of proof, and each is respected. Now, you may wonder then what the difference is. Let me give you an example. If you heard a shot and you saw a man running out of a house with a gun smoking, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that he was the one who shot the person you found lying on the floor in the home. Because you heard the shot, you inferred certain things. Now, if you saw him fired the shot and you saw the injured party or the person who was shot fall to the ground, that would be direct evidence. The indictment which has been read to you is the formal written accusation made by the state against the defendant, setting out in 3 different counts the crime of which he is charged. Now, the statements of the alleged crime in each of these 3 counts differs in some respects from each other. And you are not to suppose that these differing statements are intended to proscribe, nor that the prisoner is required to answer for more than one crime, namely the crime of murder. Let me define that term murder for you. Murder is the unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought, and that our law recognizes 2 degrees of that crime, declaring that all murder perpetrated by lying in wait or by any other kind of willful premeditated killing shall be perpetrated. Any questions, Jen, on anything there?
No.
No? And this will be for readback at 7080. Okay? Members of the jury, there is a difference between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Now, the law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence as to the degree of proof required. Each is accepted as a reasonable method of proof, and each is respected. Now, you may wonder then what the difference is. Let me give you an example. If you heard a shot and you saw a man running out of a house with a gun smoking, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that he was the one who shot the person you found lying on the floor in the home. Because you heard the shot, you inferred certain things. Now, if you saw him fire the shot and you saw the injured party or the person who was shot fall to the ground, that would be direct evidence. The indictment which has been read to you is the formal written accusation made by the state. And whenever you're ready, I'm ready, Jen.
Okay. Sorry, I need to learn how to read it from my computer. I keep scrolling up on my machine and it takes a while.
Okay, I know. Just if you can do it from your computer, that's really helpful.
Okay, yeah, I'm just. Okay. Members of the jury, there is a difference between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Now, the law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence as to the degree of proof required. Each is accepted as a reasonable method of proof, and each is respected. Now you may wonder then what the difference is. Let me give you an example.
Good. And this is where it's 80. Very good, Jen. That was 70.
Okay. If you heard a shot and you saw a man running out of a house with a gun smoking, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that he was the one who shot the person you found lying on the floor in the home. Because you heard the shot, you inferred certain things. Now, if you saw
If you saw him,
him fire the shot and you
what's your stroke?
I just have the
Saw.
saw the injured party
Or
the person who shot fall to the ground, that would be direct evidence. The indictment which has been read to you is the formal written accusation made by the state.
Very good, Jen. Very, very good. Excellent. Good. So I think what you all will get this week is a jury charge, a couple of them, okay? Couple of jury charges at 80 words a minute, okay? Because you only need 2 80s for next semester. Very good, Jen. And that's it. Any questions, Jen?
Nope.
Okay. And so that's it. So thank you, Jen, for logging in. And then we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.